There are really two main ways to use Weavile, keep away or rush down. But usually you're going to be switching between the two depending on who has the life lead. In field phase, it has excellent walk speed and great keep out tools like side Y, jump Y, icicle crash, which is jump A. But if you want to approach, it has agility, which is 5A, which can pass right through projectiles and it can be canceled into moves at the end of it. It can trap opponents in place with side Y and pressure them with either homing or with fury swipes into fake out. And if the opponent retaliates, they might run into the side Y and get frozen. Duel phase, it's going to be almost all icicle crash to keep opponents out, as it doesn't really have that many zoning tools besides that. But if it wants to get in, it has jump Y. It also has a new lunging tool, which is forward Y. And once Weavile does get in, it has a ton of fast moves that can give it frame advantage, pierce counterattacks, and break shields. Boom! That took me like 50 tries to do that. Weavile's main weakness is that it has a dead zone in mid-range, really. It wants to really be throwing out moves to keep opponents out from full screen, or it wants to be pressuring point blank. But in this range right here, there's not really a whole lot that it can do. Alright, top 5 field moves. First we have side Y. This move can completely freeze opponents if they step into it for like 3 entire seconds, and you can combo off of that. Now do note that if you do 2 of these, they're just going to juggle out, but that really should never happen. If you can freeze them up, you can combo into pretty much whenever you want. You can combo into like knockoff, but this move is really great for keeping opponents still. If you throw another one out, it erases the ones that are there. It has a long startup, so don't do it from too close up, but from far away, this is an amazing tool. It's one of the best side Ys in the entire game. Next we have jump Y. This move can be arched at different angles depending on the direction that you press while you're in the air. And this actually can launch opponents, so you're able to combo them into duel phase. So this is probably its best poke besides side Y. I think as a low commitment option, it's the best poke. So combine this with side Y and you'll be able to control a lot of space. Also there's neutral Y, and you can spin longer to make this go farther and throw out more. Again, these are just some really good low commitment pokes, and what it ends up leading to is Weavile having a style of play where it never really has to go in. It can just chip at opponent's shields and chip at opponent's life, and then just kind of whittle them down and make them come at you. And one of the things that they're going to be doing when they come at you is they're going to be lunging and they're going to be jumping. So let's deal with those. We have forward Y. Forward Y can be canceled into special moves. But primarily this is good for like whiff punishing. If people are throwing out moves, or if you want to interrupt them, you can throw a forward Y out. It is minus 16 on block, but since you can cancel it into Pokemon moves like fake out, it's pretty safe. I wouldn't throw this out too much unless you're doing the rush down style where you just want to get close to the opponent, because mostly you can just keep them out with this and you can launch off of these. And if they're jumping at you, you can punish with back Y. Back Y has upper body invincibility from frame 5, invisible against highs and mid highs, and that's very rare. You can also cancel this into specials, so like icicle crash if you wanted to do that. And I'll talk a little bit about icicle crash and duel phase, but this is one of the only actual anti-airs in field phase, like amongst the cast. I wish there were more of these like this, but this is your primary move to use to anti-air opponents, and it really gives a lot of issues to Blaziken when you're fighting against Blaziken. Now let's go to its top 5 moves in duel phase. Now we have icicle crash. This is jumping A, so you can angle this. So when you press jump A, you sit on the icicle, and then if you just leave it, you drop down. If you press R immediately, you will come straight down. Okay, so jump, up back, or back makes it go in a diagonal to the opponent. Jump in the down back, or jump 1, will make it go into straight forward. And this is for catching opponents that are jumping, so you can hit them like that. And pressing down is the same thing as just pressing R. And then you can also go up if you are pressing up. Also remember that I'm pressing R after I'm using the move so that I can fast fall, so that you're able to just land faster. Jump and then up forward makes you go towards the opponent. Just forward doesn't do anything, you drop straight down. And down forward will make you drop straight down as well. Primarily you're going to want to be doing jump A and then 7B or 4B. So jump A, 7B, 4B, and then if you really feel like it, 1B if you want to go straight. So just backwards is really how you mostly want to be going with this. Excellent keep out tool, does a little bit of chip. It's mostly for just getting your opponents to approach you. Let me just note real quick that Night Slash right here, this is unsafe on block, but it does decrease the opponent's synergy gauge, so a lot of times combos are going to end like that. Now, let's say you happen to land like a hard knockdown or something, maybe like a 2x because you like slid under a projectile or something like that, because Libre will be doing like a 6A. Here's an option that you can use to pressure, which is charge 6x. This move can be special canceled. If it's hitting, you're going to want to go into the Fury Swipes. On block, just fake out. You'll be doing 6x charge, A, and then Y, and this will leave you at +8. Being at +8 is important because this back A, or no, back Y, it is 11 frame startup. So you're +8, 11 frame startup, only 3 frames gap, so opponents can't like jump out of your pressure. If you do 5Y, 5Y goes farther. 4Y doesn't really have any range at all, it's only to be used point blank. But 5Y is going to be an issue because you can leave too much of a gap for an opponent to escape. And 8Y is another good option that you can use up close. You can go into Icicle Crash, and this is pretty safe. Not a lot of characters have guaranteed ways to deal with 8Y. You're +8 after this. And then they'll do like 2 jabs, and then they'll do like, opponents are going to try to jump or something like that. So they'll do like 8Y, and then Icicle Crash, and then jump back. And it's really difficult for a lot of characters to deal with that. You'll go through like side strikes and stuff like that if they try to side strike through the Icicle Crash itself. And that's the main reason to be using 8Y. Now, note that opponents can backdash this. If they're looking for it, they have to time it properly, otherwise they'll actually get hit. Or if you do it not quite meaty, then you actually hit opponents that are trying to backdash. And then 8Y is to stop any jumps, and also when you're like right next to the opponent's shield, but you're kind of like out of frame advantage, or you think they're gonna jump, then this is a super good option so that you can just dip out. Oh, it also breaks shields, so that's really good too. Next we have 4Y. I explained this a little bit. It's the main thing. It's just a pressure tool. You can cancel into X. So 1, 2, 3, or just 1, 2. What if you can do 1? Oh, you can do it after 1 also. So you're basically canceling into the 6X move. And that just allows you to continue looping your pressure. And if anytime your opponent's like, man, I don't want anything to do with this, mid-low, I'm going to jump out, then that's what this is. So I'll show an example of what you can do if opponent's trying to jump out of your pressure. And of course you can do some better combos. I have a combo sheet that is linked. And next we have 2A. This is taunt. This is your command counter. I don't suggest using this move too much, but a lot of Weavile love it. So let me just go over it really quickly. Frame 1, it has counter armor, and it actually does a pretty good amount of shield damage. And you can hold it also. So it's kind of similar to how Night Slash works, which is back A. So it's actually easy for the opponent to get confused which one you're doing. But this one is the command counter. This one just has some evasive, evasive hitbox. On block, this is actually -8, but taunt is going to be +12 on block. Oh, and this pierces also. So they have to block. They can't like armor against it. As you notice, that was a true block string right there. Now you're not really going to be in range to do 4Y, but you are +12, so that's just always a great thing to be. This is best for going through projectiles because you can give them that debuff right there. It's their synergy burst that weakens like the effectiveness of their synergy burst, like how strong it is. Also, a lot of players don't really know a good block string or strings to punish this. So you can like just kind of like do this in people's pressure. They're not going to really necessarily know what to do with it. I know how to deal with it, but a lot of players don't really know how. So yeah, it's always a good knowledge check. Anyway, that is Weavile's general game plan in field phase, general game plan in duel phase, and the top 5 moves in field and top 5 moves in duel phase. Thanks so much for watching. If you want to see all my character guides, I have links to all of them in the description below, and a link to all 11 chapters of Pokken Basics. See you soon.